We are devoted to college baseball. Hi there, folks. My name is Darren Sutton. This is Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV. Two great stops this week. Tennessee. There is no better place to follow college baseball than Tennessee right now. They're perfect in the SEC, coming off a sweep this past weekend over Vanderbilt. Just one loss all year long. Trey Lipscomb has waited for his opportunity patiently for 3 years, and now he's one of the biggest bats in the nation. He will join us. He'll talk about his offensive approach, his team, and his patience. In the world of the portal, how did he do it? He stayed committed to Coach Vitello, making it clear that vol ball is where I want to be. And then another great story of a man who's the perfect fit, Drew Thorpe at Cal Poly. Great changeup, even better fastball, a slider that he has evolved as well. He's one of the top 5 strikeout men in the nation. You can expect him probably in the second or third round, so say the experts. A great hitter, a great pitcher, talented players. Excited for this edition of Perfect Game College Baseball. Let's get it going right now. We welcome you back to Perfect Game College Baseball, and a guy who, to me, it's a little bit of a throwback, and it's excited to get to know him. Cal Poly, what a great program, and I've done some research. I think I've learned that I had the opportunity to at least be behind the production team or behind the microphone for his first ever college start against Vanderbilt here at Salt River Fields a couple of years back. We're excited to be joined by the Friday night guy for Cal Poly. Drew Thorpe spends time with us now. Hey, Drew, thanks for spending time with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So when you do earn your way, you come from Utah, you go to Cal Poly, you do earn your way, and you have an opportunity to pitch your way into that starting rotation as a young player a couple of years back, and you draw Vandy in that great, 4 event, right out my window, by the way, Salt River Fields. You draw Vanderbilt. What was that day like? You pitched very effectively. Kind of walk me through the journey back in 2020.
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking coming in, and that's my first start. But, I just went with my stuff and competed as much as I could and pitched pretty well, and we ended up getting the win, so it was great.
Yeah, you did. And you're warming up at a big league stadium, obviously a spring training big league stadium. What are some of the thoughts going through your mind? You played both positions in high school. You understand the game. You played effectively, won a state championship. But this is next level stuff. Were there folks you were thankful for? Were there joys you had that you had the baseball against Vanderbilt?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. That park's really, really nice. And just being around, that type of competitiveness and against some of the top teams in the country. Against Vandy and Michigan and even UConn. So being there Friday and Saturday and just kind of the atmosphere in my first college season and just how things would go and just getting ready for Sunday, knowing I have the ball, it was awesome.
Drew Thorpe, St. George, Utah. When you were a high school player, you did, as I said, take a lot of responsibility upon you. Kind of help me understand your journey at Desert Hills High School. Maybe when you fell for the game, then when you understood the next level of the game, when you knew your game would play at the college level. How did that happen for you?
I've always grown up playing baseball. Started playing just baseball my sophomore year of high school, and kind of stuck with it since then. And just, being from Utah, not very highly recruited, and I have some family close to San Luis Obispo, so came out to a couple of camps and fell in love with the area at Cal Poly and fell in love with the place here and the coaching staff and everything, and kind of that's what got me here. And then, I just kind of worked hard my whole life to get where I am, and I think that's a testament to myself. Just without being highly recruited and everything, just pushing forward, trying to get myself in the position I am today.
Who were some of your key pitching mentors as a young man? Because your stuff is played from the moment you arrived on campus. Who were some of your key pitching mentors that really helped you develop?
When I was younger, I didn't really have anybody. I was more kind of a two-way guy. Just always kind of had a feel for the baseball on the mound. And once I got here, Jake Silverman's really taken over and really helped me a lot. And kind of just, he's probably one of the guys that's helped me develop the most over the past 3 years. And he's been great, and we work well together. So.
So give me an example. As we said in our pre-interview, I've done what you do. I didn't do it with your success, but my father did, into the Hall of Fame. I did it into the minor leagues. So let's talk about where you've evolved the most with your mind, with your mechanics, with your pitch selection. Kind of help me dive deeper on how you've evolved the most.
Yeah, so kind of coming in as the two-way, I think that gave me a little bit of advantage on the pitching side, just kind of being a hitter. I kind of know, what kind of pitchers are doing in certain situations and stuff. So I think that had a little bit to do with it. And then just with the pitching side, once I started my freshman year, I kind of realized coming in that I was going to be a pitcher. Always had a good changeup. Coach Lee loves that. So took over there. And I think I've always had feel and command of the baseball, and we just worked with mechanics a little bit and just developed pitches from my freshman year to now. And obviously that's helped me a lot. I'm a lot better pitcher than I am now than I was my freshman year. And I think that's testament to him and myself just working hard and developing pitches and kind of learning how to pitch more and more each year. And then just going off, going with hitters and kind of learning swings. I think him and Coach Lee have done a great job of teaching me that and kind of knowing what to do in certain situations with certain swing types and stuff like that, just to get me to a higher level as well. So.
Yeah, you've become well-rounded. It's interesting listening to you talk. The one thing you do as well, and that's why I called you a throwback coming on there. I want to be careful with that because I'm not the kind of guy that'll watch a big league game and listen to people whine about why pitchers don't pitch deep. The game's evolved. The game's changed. That being said, you do pitch deep. It's part of your game. You do pitch 7 or more innings just about every time out. If I were to be simple-minded and ask you, like I'm another college pitcher, and I walked up to you and said, dude, how do you do that? How do you pitch deep? What would you tell me?
I don't know. I kind of always have just try to get early outs, and my stuff stays throughout the game for the most part, and I think that's just weight room and stuff like that, and just how my body works. But I've kind of always had that. Even my freshman year, I think I averaged 7 innings a start as well. So just trying to get early outs as early as possible and stay low in the pitch count and try to keep me in the game as long as I can. So.
Yeah, and it plays. There's no doubt. Is there mentality to it as well? Is there something where your mind kind of just is planning on it? You're warming up, you're probably planning first, second, third time through and evolving as you go. Is there a mentality to it as well?
Yeah, I think a little bit. It just depends like what team you're playing and how things are going. But trying to attack hitters early on is kind of my mentality. Just try to, I obviously want to go 7, 8, 9 innings every game and help my team out as much as possible, keep the bullpen thin, and so we have them later in the week. So, that's my thought process going in is just try to attack hitters early on, and then later in the game when they see me a couple of times, then I got to really dial it in and mix more and stuff like that.
Talk to me about your changeup. If it's a pitch that a lot of people love, gosh, I can't go anywhere where I don't read about it. Tell me a little bit about it, how it's held, how it's evolved, some of the keys to it.
It's just a normal circle changeup. Everyone asks me.
Well, we should. If we're doing our homework, we should ask you.
Yeah. No, it's pretty straightforward and simple. And I throw it just like I throw my fastball, and it gets the fade and differential and everything with it. And it gets me out of a lot of jams a lot of times. So glad I have it.
Yeah, you're not afraid to double and triple up on it, correct?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Oh, I love that. I love the discomfort. I never could throw one. I envy you so much. I never could command one. I had to go with the split, which is a tired excuse for a changeup, and you know that. With a great changeup, my split was tired, got me a little further than I thought I'd go. Tell me about your slider. Is that your secondary pitch, your other secondary pitch?
Yeah. So that's kind of the one thing that I worked on over the fall and in the summer a little bit. I've always had change, and then I just needed another third out pitch to go with it, and I think I kind of have that now. So it's really helped me a lot this year, kind of having both and being able to use both in any count and stuff like that, just keeping hitters more off balance than I did last year, and it's been good.
Typical grip? Are you behind the baseball, on the side of it at all? Tell me how you throw it.
Yeah, so I'm behind a little bit, kind of two of my fingers are on the horseshoe, and I just throw it like a fastball and try to get some downward break instead of I've noticed when I try to get side to side, it gets a little slurvier. So try to throw harder and shorter. So that's kind of been the grip this year.
Drew, who do you love to watch pitch? If I'm going to give you a few minutes and maybe a chance to watch some clips, who do you love to watch pitch? Who have you learned from at the higher levels?
I always get asked this question. It's a tough one. I'd probably say Max Scherzer. I think.
Okay.
I think more just the competitive aspect and just how he goes about his game and watching him throw every day. I think that's kind of who I look to be like on the mound.
So for you, the experience, albeit brief last year in the Cape, meant what to you?
I mean, obviously a great experience. I was kind of sad when I was leaving, but no, it was cool to be in that atmosphere and be around some of those guys and just, I mean, make new friends, obviously, and then just that whole uh, Cape Cod atmosphere is really awesome, and I think it was great that I got to go for a couple of weeks and kind of be a part of it.
So beyond baseball, you're studying, if I'm not mistaken, kinesiology. Is that correct, or have you changed that?
No, I'm still in Kines, yeah.
So you're at a real school, I mean, with a grind of an academic rigor. Beyond baseball, once it's all said and done and you've had that big league career that's gone for a long time, what else do you want to do with your life?
I mean, I don't know. We'll kind of see how it goes throughout the rest of the way. Always growing up, I've always wanted to be a physician's assistant. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to school for, and we'll just see how it goes from there. But obviously, baseball's first, and I want to play this game as long as I can. So,
Man, it feels like you made the right choice. I mean, it really, really does. I can look at numbers and clear, but listening to you talk, the academics there, the Coach Lee and his expectations, it feels to me like you're really in the right place, and you're fortunate for that.
yeah, for sure. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't come to this school and be around Coach Lee and Coach Silverman. They've definitely helped me a ton, and I don't think I'd be in the position I am today without them. So,
Yeah, and I thought I'd bring that up because so much media time is spent on the portal, so much media time is spent on unhappiness. I like to spend time when it makes sense on those decisions that make sense and fits that are the right fits and player and coach that work together. So, Drew, congratulations on what you've accomplished. One of the top strikeout men in the nation this year. Have a great rest of the year. It's been great to get to know you.
you as well. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Cal Poly, man. Go check him out if you haven't already. Drew Thorpe, one of the best pitchers in the nation, having a true breakout year this year. Excited to watch him. When we come back, more great conversations. Glad to have you with us. We're going to talk Tennessee baseball. This is Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV. Bit of a technology shift on this show, but we welcome you back. This is Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV, and what a start it's been for Trey Lipscomb and his Tennessee team this year. Trey, thanks for spending time with us. Your club off to a 27-1 start. When you guys got together last fall and you talked about who you might be, did you think you could be this?
We definitely thought we were going to be something special, but losing some of the key factors such as like Liam Spence and Jake Rucker and even some of the guys in the pitching staff, we knew it was going to be like a tough one trying to replace those guys, but you definitely wish you could still have them in the locker room just to be around because they were great guys. But no, as we got into the fall, we completed the fall and then we entered the winter and then spring ball came in. We were like, okay, we're going to be something special, but it was going to be the freshmen. We're going to need some freshmen to step up and play big roles.
Baseball's that funny sport. We don't allow ourselves to have fun because we play every day. I watched your homers and I've seen you having fun, but my point is you had that amazing series against Vanderbilt. It was historic, right? You guys sweep them. It's wildly entertaining. The nation is watching, but you got to move on because you have games coming up. That being said, if you're to walk me back and just take me through that series, when you laid your head down each night, the joy you and your team had, when you ate your meals together, when it was all said and done, kind of just give me the vibe of that series from your dugout being out there at third base.
As soon as we got there on Thursday, we don't like to look ahead. So after we won the game on Tuesday or on Wednesday we played, we went straight to Vanderbilt and then we got like the scouting report and did all that. And when we got there on Thursday, you could just feel like the joy and excitement of just being able to be at that university. It's such a cool university. The atmosphere is going to be cool. You got a bunch of kids on the team who are around the area. I think we have like a total of 8 guys who are like within 30 minutes of that campus. So they were excited to be home. But we knew that on Friday we were going to get a good matchup and then going on to Saturday and then Sunday. And then I guess when we're just out there playing the best game that we can and just playing, I guess, what they call ball, it's exciting to see, and I bet it's exciting to watch. Because I know for the past 3 years I've been able to watch it, and then that's another reason why I haven't left, because it's just fun to be around. And then when you win Friday night, you're like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. Because when you get a Friday night win in the SEC, it's like, oh, okay, like that's a big time win, especially in the SEC. And then when you go on to Saturday, and then it's usually the team who's going to punch back is going to be the team that wins and who comes out with the most confidence and like brotherhood. And I think on Saturday, that's what kept us in the game. And then you had Chase Dollander go out there and threw his game, and you know how his stuff is. He just throws it. Really nobody can seem to hit it. And that we experienced that in the fall. And then Sunday is basically, from our expectation, it's kind of like the job's not finished. You know, we play South Carolina and we play Ole Miss, and we win the first 2 games of the series. And then Sunday is really our day. Sunday is a day that we should go out there and just be smelling blood and just wanting to finish that team. I think that's what we've been doing so far.
Yeah, and you guys did. It's funny, you know, such a joy to watch. You mentioned all that great answer, and I appreciate that great answer. One thing you said is it's volleyball, and I've learned a lot watching. You did watch. You did watch for 3 years. You showed a ton of patience. And it's funny, we just talked to Drew Thorpe on our show. He's at Cal Poly. You know, I like to celebrate players that, you know, in the era of the portal, and I have no problem with the portal, the freedom it's created amongst 4 athletes for you guys to own your journeys. That being said, I'm sure you considered change, but you didn't. And now this year, you're one of the best hitters in the country. How did you grow and learn and stay patient during those first 3 years? Well, you did, as you said, watch quite a bit.
So I guess we can go back to high school, and Coach V recruited me. Out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited, but I came to a few camps at Tennessee, and I kind of just fell in love with just like being around this campus and university. And then with the coaching staff on top of that, it's just, they brought into you like a family, and then like a brotherhood. They're always going to have your back, as I'm sure you've seen on TV with Coach V. No matter what happens, he's always going to have your back, no matter what happens or like what you do. But then I guess when we go along, sorry, I forgot the question you asked.
No, how'd you stay patient? That's okay. How'd you stay patient while everyone else was getting the at-bats? You weren't getting a ton.
No, you have guys like Andre Lipscomb and then Jake Rucker, who are really, really good guys, and you can kind of take some stuff from their game and apply it to your game and make it even better. And when Andre was here, we weren't really close, but like I was always at third base with him, and I would always pick his brain and try to learn and just try to watch and copy him and just apply it to my game. But then the most recent one is Jake Rucker. Me and Jake have been roommates since freshman year. And then just riding with him to the field and then back from the field every day, I can kind of like, if he had a bad day, which he seemed to never have, I could kind of pick his brain off of that. And then when he had a good day, I would still just love to pick his brain because I knew that my time was coming.
You were young when you graduated. You were 17. You're still just 21 having this amazing senior year. You also played multiple sports and played them well throughout high school. Is it not an understatement to say that Coach V saw a raw player who was going to develop? I saw you play travel ball a lot. I saw you play for 5-star very effectively. But did you feel like when you arrived, hey, man, I'm just scratching the surface. I have so much growing I can do. Did you know that inside?
No, not really. When I came here, I really came here expected to come straight from high school and play every day. But I guess that's kind of everybody's mentality. But sometimes that's not how the table turns, or it's not your turn to eat yet. But I really did stay patient. And then when my time has come, I'm taking the most of the opportunity.
Tell me about your time at Urbana High School. You're from Maryland. Tell me about the other sports you played, how long you played them. You know, there's the legendary story about like a 7-touchdown game you had playing football. Tell me a little bit about your football and basketball journeys.
Yeah, so when I moved to Urbana 2016, so my sophomore year of high school, and it was definitely new. It was definitely smaller. My freshman year, I went to Panther Creek High School, which is in Cary, North Carolina. I'm not sure if you know about that. But then I went into Urbana, and then just growing up and then just seeing the people around. Maryland's not really a huge baseball state. It's more like lacrosse and then the field hockey, which I had no idea existed, to be honest. But no, just growing the friendships, and I had a great high school coach, Coach Mike Fraunfelter of Urbana High School, and he just mentored me throughout the times. He really wanted me to go to West Virginia because that's where he went. So I mean, we took a visit there, but I don't know. I didn't really like it. I wanted to come down south because the Southern hospitality was a real thing in my eyes. But yeah, Urbana High School was fun. And then growing up, I played football for a long, long time. And then when I got to my freshman year of high school, I was like, I'm not going to play football anymore. I'm just going to focus on baseball. And then senior year rolled around at Urbana, and I was like, I mean, it's really fun to go out there and get the Friday night crowds. Just the student section is not as big, but, you know, you get the 200 students out there, and it feels like you're playing in the World Series, you know, at that age. But, yeah, it was fun. My senior year I played. I missed a few games. I missed the first 4 games because of some of the tournaments I had to go to, like down in Jupiter and all those during the fall. But when I came back, I had a really fun time. I played, I want to say, 8 games. And then on senior night, I did have a crazy game. I caught the game-winning touchdown, which is pretty fun. But people don't know. They just see the video. I actually dropped the game-winning touchdown right before that. But then the next play, I made the game-winning touchdown. So it was pretty cool. And then basketball, I played on the JV team my sophomore year of Urbana. And then junior year, I didn't really play. And then senior year, a bunch of us kids on the baseball team of Urbana High School still wanted to play basketball, but it was kind of hard to do so. So we just created like a rec league, and it was like 10 of us who played baseball, and then some of our friends who didn't play who were on the team. But it was pretty fun just to go out there and have fun playing different sports.
Amazing, man. Thank you for taking me down that path and sharing. Well, it's funny. It's funny. I think about that game you shared that you dropped the game winner, then you caught the game winner. It's kind of like how everyone's looking at you now. They're talking about what you're doing currently, and that's the way it should be. You put in all that hard work. You know, that week you had against Iona, where you were the national player of the week offensively. It's hard to get 5 hits in a 3-game series, let alone 10. Were you just mentally in a cloud? Did it look like the kids say, did it look like a beach ball coming up there? What's it like when a hitter has a week like that? I didn't hit. I pitched in the minor leagues. But when a hitter has a week like that, what's that like?
It's definitely fun. You definitely want to go up there and get a hit every time, but obviously that's not going to happen. But if you have that mindset that you're going to do that, then I feel like it can't happen. And that's the mindset I had going into that weekend. Just going out there and knowing that I can do that. I'm capable of doing that. But it was really fun to see. I guess it's one of the first few weekends of the season. So it's really cool to see that, okay, this work is actually like paying off. And it's really cool because I knew it was going to happen, but sometimes, you know, you can have all the confidence you want, but sometimes things aren't going to go the way you want. So it was just really cool to see the results out there.
Can you help me understand the level of play in SEC baseball? And you can include the fan pressure that you feel when you're on the road. Can you help me understand the level of play?
I guess the level of play is honestly, it's just another game of baseball. And then you add in the environment of the SEC, and I think that's what really changes it. When you go to places like we went to Ole Miss who have 15,000 fans for one game, and then they're doing the beer showers. And then my freshman year, I went to Arkansas and then do the whole Woo Pig Suey chant, which is pretty cool. And then you go other places. I think this year we go to Mississippi State, and we already went to Ole Miss. But we go to Mississippi State, and I heard that one's a good one. But honestly, it's just another game of baseball. But then when you add the fan environment of the SEC, I think that's what kind of changes it.
Yeah, it's energy. It's incredible. It's a high level of baseball. Your parents, Dana and LaVictor, yes?
Yes, sir.
And you're the third, yes?
I am the third.
Hence Trey. You know, what do you owe your parents, mom and dad? You know, sometimes the car rides, sacrifices, going to Jupiter's, you know, going to the 16 UBCS where you were the all tournament. You had a big tournament there, by the way. Parents make sacrifices for young athletes to get through what they went through. Were your parents able to do that for you? Do you owe them a bit?
Oh, yeah. I think I owe them the world. They're kind of what made me get into the sport. I mean, and I guess my mom, she was always there for me. She was driving me down to the tournaments when my dad couldn't. And then my dad, same, he was driving me down to tournaments too. And I think my dad, when we first started sports, he kind of was like I played some of the sports that I weren't really into. Like, I know he tried to get me to go out there and do golf, but I wasn't really a fan of that. But his key words were, if you're going to do something, then you can't quit. And I think that's what still, like, brought me to today at Tennessee, why, like, it's been a huge factor on why I'm still here. It's like, if you're going to commit to something, then never quit. So that's what I've lived by those words for, like, a long, long time. I will forever continue to live by those words. And then just not even my parents, but my brothers and my sister. I have a brother, Trey Lipscomb, who is in 8th grade. He's in 8th grade. And he's played baseball, basketball, kind of all the sports and all that. And then I have a sister who is a year younger than me who attends USF down in Tampa, who I don't know, kind of being the older sibling, it's kind of like you do stuff and you like to inspire them. And then when you put a smile on, like, not just your parents' face, but even your siblings' faces, I think even cooler because, like, they're around you even more. You kind of share some stories you kind of wouldn't tell your parents, I guess. I don't know. Probably my mom.
I get it.
They're probably gonna ask me some of the questions or some of the stuff I'm saying. But yeah, like I tell my sister a few things, and then my brother, just watching him. I know growing up for me playing the game of baseball that I love, it was so fun growing up doing all the travel ball, rec ball, and all that, and just to see him going through that and having fun just puts a smile on my face. But yeah, I definitely owe my parents and then just my siblings the world. They're always there for me.
What an amazing answer, and what a great time it was to have you on this show. We really appreciate what you've accomplished. We thank you for your time. We got all our tech together so we could have this talk. And best of luck to your team the rest of the way. What a story Tennessee is.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Trey Lipscomb, our guest, and certainly Drew Thorpe at Cal Poly. Unique stops this year, and unique stops this week specifically. Two unique athletes having incredible seasons, and thanks for hanging out with us. We're here each and every week with brand new editions of Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV. See you next week.